Through the System Area Manager, you can use Dash for remote systems management of client machines where it's supported by the hardware. We're logged into the Area Manager. We'll find the system in the tree and we click the Remote Management icon. The system supports Dash, so the Dash tab appears. Now, when Dash is configured on the client, it may use the same IP address as the operating system, or you may need to configure a different address for the Dash connection. The first time you come to this screen, the address field is automatically populated with the IP address used by the operating system. If Dash uses the same IP, you can just enter the username and password and click Apply to save them. If you do change the IP address, it's treated as a static IP, so you don't want to change the IP address if you're using DHCP and Dash uses the same IP address as the operating system. You do have the option of using the system name instead of the IP address. Our system here uses a different IP for Dash and it's static, so we'll change it, enter the username and password, and click Apply. You can click the Launch Dash Console button to open a new window and log into the system's embedded Dash Management Console. The interface that comes up and the features available will depend on what's built into the system board. Now we'll establish a remote connection using Dash. Click the Dash Remote Management tab, then click the button to establish a Dash connection. The system power state is displayed. It's on right now. When the system is on, you can shut it down with the power off button. To restart a system that's on or power one up when it's off, click the radio button for power reset or power on, and then click the send command button. You'll get a message at the bottom of the screen to show the status of the operation. It's important to remember that a Dash remote session is left connected until you disconnect it. So you want to be sure to do that when you're finished. Click the Dash Configuration tab, then click Disconnect Session. The system status will update to show that it's no longer connected. You can access a system during its boot sequence by using Dash Serial over LAN. First, you'll go to the Dash Remote Management tab and establish the Dash connection. If the system is off, you'll want to click Power On, or if it's running, you'll want to click Power Reset. Check the box for Launch SOL to use Serial over LAN. At this point, you can click Send Command, and the Serial over LAN console will come up. To get into the BIOS setup, you can press the key for accessing the BIOS during the boot sequence. What you can also do is, before clicking Send Command, check the Enter BIOS Setup box. Then send the command, and you'll enter the BIOS configuration automatically. Once you exit the BIOS, you won't see the operating system interface through the Serial over LAN console. You can disconnect the Serial over LAN session, or you can do a power reset. Remember that the Dash connection is still up, so when you're finished, you'll need to disconnect it. Finally, let's talk about -USB redirection. We can upload an image to the system that runs the System Area Manager, and this can be in IMG or ISO format. Then we can either mount the image as a disk drive on the running system, or if we're using an image of a bootable disk, we can boot the system from the image. On the system that runs System Area Manager, there's a folder where we need to place our images. C, SyAM, Jetty, SyAM, Web Apps, Root, -ISO. Let's mount an image on the running system. Start by going to the Dash Remote Management tab and establishing our Dash connection. Check the box to enable USB redirect. The images that we've uploaded to the directory on the Area Manager will be listed in the drop-down menu. We'll select the one we want. Then we'll click the Send Command button. Now the image appears as a disk on the client system. If it's an ISO image, it will show up as a CD device, or if it's an IMG, it shows up as a floppy disk. We can also combine USB redirection with serial over LAN to boot from the disk image. It must be a bootable image, and the BIOS needs to have the boot sequence set up to try booting from CD or DVD before booting from the hard drive. As before, we establish a Dash connection. We select Power On or Power Reset, and then check both Launch SOL and Enable USB Redirect. We'll select the image to boot from, and then click Send Command. The Serial over LAN console will be displayed, and you'll see the boot sequence as the system boots up from the disk image. Again, you'll have the options to disconnect the serial over LAN or power reset the system. And when you're done, you'll need to disconnect the Dash session. The Dash features we've talked about here are also discussed in the System Area Manager user manual.